Wonder if you already know that some of the heaviest things you carry are not memories. They aren't events. They aren't even emotions. They're unfinished nervous system loops. They're the mental tabs left open, the emotional posture you've been holding for years, the subtle bracing inside your body that never got the message that it's safe to soften now. And that's exactly what we are here to discuss in today's Mindful Monday. Now, if it's your first time joining us, feel free to type in the comments where you're coming from, any questions or comments you have, and any topics you'd like to hear more about in the future. We love to take suggestions. Okay, you can also private message me if you prefer. And you'll want to make sure that you stay until the very end of this video to find out how you can receive some free gifts, including a hypnotic recording on releasing limiting beliefs and our weekly PDF cheat sheets. Now, what's fascinating about these unfinished nervous system loops is this. You don't have to relive anything to release them. You don't have to analyze it. You don't have to figure it out. Sounds great, right? And this is true because emotional weight is not stored as a story. It's stored as pattern sensations, expectation, and orientation. And patterns can be gently repatterned, can they not? So today I'm going to guide you through a hypnotic solution focus process using some NLP, which are neuro-linguistic programming principles, and a cognitive shuffle designed to let your mind and your nervous system naturally offload emotional weight. And to do so without re-traumatizing, without digging, and without forcing anything to change. And here's something important to know before we begin. You don't need to know what you're releasing. You don't need to know this for your system to release it. Your subconscious already knows what it's ready to let go of. So what is this emotional weight anyway? So most people think that emotional weight comes from pain. And it certainly can, but pain moves. What creates heaviness is holding onto something. It can also be holding yourself together. It can be holding expectations, holding a vigilance, holding roles you no longer need to perform. Now, from an NLP perspective, this emotional weight shows up as fixed internal images, repetitive internal language, habitual body tension, time-distorted emotional states, and actually from a hypnotherapy perspective, this is simply a state that stayed active for too long. The solution is not to resist the origin. The solution is to change the state of dynamics. That's where the cognitive shuffle becomes so powerful. Because when the mind is gently given novel, nonlinear input, the emotional load naturally disengages. Just like muscles let go when you stop gripping. So for this demonstration, I will invite you to listen, not to actually do anything perfectly, rather to just let your system respond in its own naturally intelligent way. So you don't need to relax, and you don't need to concentrate, and you don't need to imagine vividly. All you need to do is to allow your attention to drift wherever it wants to. All right. So as we begin this hypnotic demo, you can simply allow your gaze to soften, or if you prefer, and if you are in a safe place to do so, you can allow your eyes to close down. And you might begin simply by noticing that you are here. That's right. And the part of you that's listening doesn't need to carry anything extra right now. You might become aware of your breath without changing it, just noticing. And somewhere inside, there may already be a quiet recognition that holding takes effort and letting go does not. So instead of releasing, we're simply going to stop holding. Now imagine your mind like a snow globe that's been shaken for a long time. Not because anything was wrong, but because life kept on moving. That's right. We're not going to force the snow to settle. we're just going to set the globe down. And as your system begins to settle on its own, I'll offer your mind a series of gentle, disconnected images. And you don't need to connect them. You don't need to analyze them. Just notice or not notice whatever feels natural to you. A wooden door, slightly warm from the sun. A wooden door slightly warm from the sun. A staircase with wide, shallow steps. A staircase with wide, shallow steps. A smooth stone, cool in the palm of your hand. A smooth stone cool in the palm of your hand. A patch of light on the floor, moving slowly. A patch of light on the floor, moving slowly. A word you almost remember, but don't need to. A word you almost remember, but don't need to. And as these images drift through, something very subtle begins to happen. The emotional weight you've been carrying starts to lose its structure, because emotional weight needs continuity to stay heavy. And right now, your mind is moving in gentle fragments. Now you might notice a sensation somewhere in the body. Not a pain, just an awareness. And without labeling it, allow this sensation to change shape. Not to disappear, rather to change, like ice becoming water, without any effort, and then maybe water becoming a mist. And now the images continue. A feather resting on a table. A feather resting on a table. A hallway that turns softly to the left. A hallway that turns softly to the left. A color you like without needing a reason. A color you like without needing a reason. A sound in the distance. A sound in the distance. And with each disconnected moment, your nervous system receives a new message. I don't need to hold this together anymore. That's right. Now, if there was a posture of emotional effort, it can soften too. If there was any bracing, it can loosen. If there was a silent obligation to carry something forward, it can be set down here. And you don't have to know what it is. Your subconscious already knows exactly what it's doing. That's right. Now imagine, without effort, that whatever emotional weight was present is redistributing, not leaving you empty, but leaving you lighter, like setting down a heavy coat in a warm room. And you might notice a sense of space inside the chest, the belly, the shoulders, and into that space comes something else. Not excitement, not forced positivity, just ease, neutrality, a quiet okayness. And let the images continue, slowly fading, a window opening, a window opening, a gentle breeze, a gentle breeze, a path with no destination, a path with no destination. And And allow yourself to rest there for a few breaths. That's right. Good. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, allowing your eyes to open if you did close them. Maybe a long, yummy stretch. That's right. Now what you just experienced, whether subtle or noticeable, is the mind doing what it does best when it's no longer pressured to perform. You didn't relive anything, you didn't rehash anything, you didn't need insight, you simply interrupted the emotional holding pattern. This is how real emotional release happens safely, not through intensity, but through state change. And the more often you allow your mind to enter these fragmented, gentle, nonlinear states, the more emotional weight naturally resolves itself. Because your system is always moving toward balance when it's not being interrupted by effort. So the next time you feel heavy, emotional kind of weight, ask yourself this: where am I holding that I no longer need to? And instead of answering with words, let your body respond. Let your mind wander and drift, and let the images break apart. Let the weight lose its shape. Because healing doesn't have to hurt. And release doesn't require revisiting pain. Sometimes all it takes is permission to stop carrying what was never meant to be permanent in the first place. And your subconscious already knows exactly how to do this. That's right. Now, if you'd like a free recording and other gifts, simply write mindful in comments or message me mindful if you prefer, and then follow the link, which I'll then give you. If you'd like to work one-on-one to rewire your mind even deeper, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at unwindthemindllc@gmail.com or check out the website www.unwindthemind.com. Until then, trust the process, train your mind, and keep breathing into your power. Have a wonderful Mindful Monday.